Shalom, Shalom Israel. This is Brother Yowana coming back at y'all with Lord's will, another edifying lesson. First and foremost, as always, before I start, I'd like to give all the praise, honor, and infinite glory unto Yahweh, Bahashim, Yahweh Shai, Bahashim, Rachach Wadash. Double honors to the elder apostles of Great Millstone, our teachers who rule well. Shalom to you brothers pushing and teaching this truth across the four winds of this earth. And as always, peace, blessings, and many salutations be to you sincere Akyam wa Akwath, you brothers along with you few sisters who are giving all diligence in these last days. Right, through the mercy and grace of the Heavenly Father, Yahweh, through his only beloved begotten Son, Yahweh Shai, coming back with an update and prophecy type lesson. This is going to be another segment of signs. The signs are in the headlines. Okay, that's why really, we as our beloved elder apostles on down always encourage to read alternative news such as different news websites, because we understand that the mainstream news is controlled by the wicked elites, all right, and they pretty much want to control the narrative, and so they only allow you to see certain things. There's a lot of lies and there's a lot of deception, right, that is executed throughout the media, especially these different news platforms, man, right? But nevertheless, again, that's why we always stress to go into the alternative news sites. Okay, but nevertheless, I have a few articles, man. This might be, which I don't intend for it to be too long. Lord willing, it is edifying and straight to the point. But I want to try to touch on these articles, get as much information out to you believers as possible, because where there's a lot going on right now, and just doing a little digging, and I found these articles to be pretty interesting, man, concerning the times that we're in, man. But nevertheless, this is the first one I have, and this is on naturalnews.com, right? And it says, massive scandal unravels after Biden-Harris regime fabricated 818,000 jobs to fake an abundant economy. Now, I remember hearing somewhere today, that it was said in the news, or I'm not sure by who, but America is doing pretty good as far as the economy, and it's strong, and that's something that they always say at these different rallies and whatnot, just to kind of people love to people like to hear good things. That's why people hate the true prophets, right? Because the prophets are always warning of doom and gloom that is to come in the near future. When people don't want to hear about doom and gloom, right? That's why when you read Isaiah the 30th chapter, concerning our people, you so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native American Indians, which are the Israelites, right? They say, speak unto us smooth things and prophesy deceits. Our people don't want us to give them the truth because, like they say, the truth hurts, right? You have to change. You have to, when you come to serve the Lord, you have to change, your old ways, your old habits, your old mindset, right? And work towards becoming a new creature daily, right? You have to, put off, the world, okay? You have to cleave unto the Lord, but our people don't want to do that, man. They're comfortable, in oppression, and they're comfortable with the wicked ruling over them, constantly lying to them about, a vain hope that they're pumping their minds up to believe, right? But continuing on, it says, under the Biden-Harris regime, government agencies have become a spiteful vessel of lies and censorship. Another massive scandal of lies is unfolding again with a new report that the Biden-Harris regime fabricated 818,000 jobs in the latest report. The Bureau of Labor Statistics just revised the jobs data to reveal that 818,000 fewer jobs were created over the last year, contradicting the original report that Biden-Harris used to their advantage to falsely promote their economic prowess. Now, why would they do that? Because by them saying that, we're employing more jobs and the economy is getting stronger, what that does to the average American that watches, that gives them a sense of security, that gives them a sense of stability and a sense of peace. Which, before I continue on, let me grab this. This is 1 Thessalonians chapter 5 and verse 1. But of the times and the seasons, brethren, ye have no need that I write unto you. For yourselves know perfectly that the day of the Lord so cometh as a thief in the night. For when they shall say peace and safety, then sudden destruction cometh upon them, as travail upon a woman with child, and they shall not escape. Right? You see that? So when they shall say peace and safety, that's when the sudden destruction comes, which we understand, it's on the way concerning Jacob's trouble in the time of the hour of temptation, pursuant to Revelation 3 and 10. But nevertheless, they make those lies, to ultimately, deceive, the average peon that watches the mainstream news and believes what they present, right? To pretty much have them in a state of comfortability, man, that everything is fine, right? That peace and safety, but it's not fine. Okay, they're lying to you. It says this data manipulation is massive. The 818,000 fabricated jobs represent a 30% fake boost to the economy in terms of job creation. With these fake numbers, Biden-Harris tried to take credit for presiding over a robust and growing economy. But the truth is, more people are losing their jobs at a time when most people need 2 or 3 jobs just to make ends meet. This is Biden-Harris regime fraudulently manipulating job statistics. Republican presidential candidate Donald Trump is calling this data manipulation a massive scandal. Trump accused the Biden-Harris regime of being caught fraudulently manipulating job statistics to hide the true extent of the economic ruin they have inflicted upon America. Rob Wilson, president of, and really at the end of the day, again, like we understand, presidents, the Senate, Congress, all of them are just puppets to the higher ups, to the elites, right? Because there's levels to it, man. Just like at a regular job, man, you have your employees, you have the lead, and then you have the manager, and then you have the store manager, or then you have the CEO, or just there's levels to it, man. Okay. It says, we knew when there was a delay that the numbers weren't going to be good. This is a big miss by the Labor Department. For this to happen during an election year is particularly egregious. We will never know how much these inaccurate numbers impacted the election, but it's very troubling to know that false data influence Americans' voting decisions. See, they gave them false data, man. To we're making all this progress. We gained 818,000 jobs, and boosted the economy, it's getting stronger. And so that what that's going to do to the average person who believes that, well, now I want to vote for you because you're doing a lot of good. You're bringing positive growth to the country, which in reality they're not. It was all fabricated, which again, this report is coming out, man. This is verified, right? This isn't some conspiracy. This isn't, something made up, or no, this is the truth. Right, and that's our job, man. What did the Lord say? Speak ye the truth, every man to his neighbor, right? It says, essentially, the Biden-Harris administration attempted to boost the jobs report by 30%, advertising a jobs report that boasted 2.9 million jobs year to year. This is deeply concerning in an election year where Marxists seek to supplant the rule of law and undo the constitutional principles that the country was founded upon. It says when the true job figures came out, the jobs data for that quarter actually saw the largest downward revision since 2009, back when Barack Obama was president. Were certain government officials trying to conceal this devastating jobs data? The misrepresentation of data is a reoccurring Salakia pattern within the Biden-Harris regime, which misrepresentation is one of the definitions of the word deceit, which we're going to grab. Just since I said that, it says, this is the Google definition of the word deceit. It says the action or practice of deceiving someone by concealing or misrepresenting the truth. And that's what these devils do all throughout the news, man. They constantly, spreading lies and deceit, constantly pulling one over on the average person, right? And the average person believes when they say, oh, everything is fine, just like in certain movies, just like what I'm thinking about is 2012. Right, which for those of you who haven't seen that, I would highly recommend. It's an older movie. When the whole world thought the world was going to end in 2012, they made a movie. But nevertheless, there's a part in the movie where the husband, the main character, he's like a government. He works for the government and whatnot, so he has inside access to certain things that did happen or certain things that will happen. So he got word something major was going to take place, and he's headed to his house. He calls his wife. And she's on the phone. She's at home with the kids and her boyfriend. And basically, they were making pancakes. Kids were eating. They were actually talking shit about the husband. Like he's crazy and a good father. But he's on his way there to, pretty much save them from what's about to happen. And he's like, y'all need to pack your bags and get ready. I'm on my way. We need to get out of the city. He's like, something as major is about to happen. And she's like, no, ain't nothing gonna happen. We're watching the news right now. And then it shows the screen, and I guess Arnold Schwarzenegger in the movie, he was the president. And he said everything is going to be okay. We have everything under control. And as soon as he finished saying that, there was a bad earthquake and all hell broke loose. But just to show you, even in the movies, they show you that your different presidents, your different government officials will come out in public and tell people certain things to, you know, or misrepresent the truth to keep the people at bay. I believe it's called crowd control, right? But all they're doing is lying, man, you know? And let me grab this real quick. This is, this is Proverbs chapter 14 and verse 15. And it reads, bear with me, the simple believeth every word, but the prudent man looketh well to his going. You see, the simple, the fool, you know, foolish people are going to believe everything that they're told, you know, but we have to be even just like the church Berea, right? You know, who studied, you know, the things to confirm what Apostle Paul taught them to be true, right? And they were actually commended for that, man. You know, and that's how we have to be, not only when it concerns the scriptures, right, you know, but also within things that we see somewhere, always going to confirm and verify, man. Don't just believe everything that's told to you, right? Because, you know, we're living in a world full of deceit and full of lies. So we have to chew up the meat and spit out the bones, so to speak, man, right? We have to get to the bottom of the truth. Okay, but the average person does not care to do that, right? They just follow whatever the news says and whatever they say goes, right? And I also had this pulled up too, which I tried. I wanted to find it was like a, well, basically it was basically, I don't want to say a website, but I guess you could say a screenshot of different jobs, you know, different companies, I should say, that are letting, you know, pretty much cutting off, you know, employees, man, and shutting down, right? But I did find this, and it says many companies have announced layoffs in 2024, including tech companies, banks, and other companies. Amazon Web Services, UiPath, Cloud Software Group, Salesforce, OpenText, Microsoft Azure, Xerox, Cisco have all announced layoffs in 2024. In 2023, Amazon had the largest layoffs of any tech company, cutting 16,000 roles, man. Right, people are actually losing jobs, and these companies are making the cuts because even within, you know, in a major reason too for a lot of these jobs making so many cuts is because, you know, AI, you know, they're having, you know, AI, you know, with robots do the job of, you know, of people now, right? So just like we seen that movie Willy Wonka, you know, the newer one with Johnny Depp, you know, I believe it was Charlie, his grandfather had lost his job because why? Because it was like a warehouse or something where they were manufacturing like it was like an assembly line type job, and he lost his job at the factory because they were all replaced with robots. You know, that's going to happen in the future, man, with certain jobs, right? Such as fast food, you know, even restaurants. They even have certain restaurants where a robot brings you your food, man. They have someone cooking the food, and it's the robot brings it. You know, pretty soon it's going to be robots cooking, just like certain McDonald's, man. The robots make the food and then give it to you. Right? It says Nike, other companies, or matter of fact, I missed the bank's part. It says the Bank of Queensland announced plans to cut up to 400 jobs in August 2024. That's this year, man. Matter of fact, that was last month, or I guess we're still in August. I'm moving a little too fast, you know. But nevertheless, that's relevant news, right? That's this month. It says Nike, Discord, Citi, Amazon own Twitch, BlackRock, Rent the Runway, Unity Software, eBay, and Microsoft have all announced layoffs in 2024. Other companies that have announced layoffs in 2024 include CarMax, laid off more than 400 employees in August 2024. GM announced plans to lay off at least 1,000 software jobs in August 2024. MasterCard announced plans to lay off 1,000 staff worldwide in August 2024. Ted Banker announced plans to close its last stores with 500 jobs at risk in August 2024. Snap announced plans to reduce its workforce by about 10% in August 2024. You know, and the list, you know, just goes on. Don't think that these are just the only companies, man. There's more companies, okay, all over the world that are, you know, laying off, you know, their employees, you know, in mass numbers. Okay, but this all goes right back into Bible prophecy, man. Right, which that's our job, man. You know, to make make these things plain upon tables, right? You know, make it clear, right? Okay, this is what's happening in the world, but this is where it lines up, right, with the scripts. Now, this is Ecclesiastes chapter 12, and I'll start at verse 1, and it reads, "Remember now thy Creator in the days of thy youth, while the evil days come not, nor the years draw nigh, when thou shalt say, I have no pleasure in them." And that's what we through the spirit and power of Yahweh Bashem Yahushua are saying to you Israelites, man, to remember the Lord in these days. Okay, but while the evil days don't come yet, which the evil days are on the way, but they're not here. So seek the Lord while he is near. It says, while the sun or the light or the moon or the stars be not darkened, nor the clouds return after the rain, In the day when the keepers of the house shall tremble, and the strong men shall bow themselves, and the grinders cease because they are few. You see that the grinders cease, man. People, at some point, there's going to be so many job layoffs, man. There's going to be, it's going to be obvious, that that the economy is not doing good as the government wants you to believe. People are struggling right now, man, barely being able to make ends meet. Okay, the grinders shall cease. The workers, the employment force is going to continue to decline, just like we're seeing now. Okay, all these different mass layoffs, right? The Lord is breaking this place down bit by bit. Okay, and we're seeing it happen in real time. Okay, and one thing, I want to get into my next article, because that was the point on those few, which I was going to go into that second one on the right, but it kind of made the point right in the first. Which, let me see if I finished off the rest. Yeah, I'll finish off this right here. Right, let me go down. It says, weakening labor market comes at a time when Americans must work extra jobs to make ends meet. Right, yeah, that's what I want to get into. Like I was just saying, it says recent concerns about a weakening labor market led to a market sell-off earlier this month, raising fears that the U.S. economy may be on the brink of a recession. And it's going to be worse than the one that came in 2008, right, the Great Depression. However, job numbers should be high by default because Americans must work 2 or 3 jobs to afford skyrocketing rent, food, and energy costs. It says, hey, I remember this dude, it was on TikTok, man. He was asking people, why they vote for Kamala Harris and whatnot. And one girl said, oh, because she's going to lower income. He's like, is that a good idea? The average American is gone, man. But nevertheless, I just thought it was pretty funny. It says, even with people working extra jobs, in July, job growth in the U.S. significantly underperformed expectations, with employers adding just 114,000 jobs. This figure fell short of the Dow Jones estimate of 185,000. Additionally, the unemployment rate climbed to 4.3%, marking the highest level since October 2021. But according to, the Biden-Harris regime, the economy's getting stronger. I mean, they're opening more jobs. That's not happening, man. It's a lie. Okay? That's a fucking lie, bro. It says, moreover, Goldman Sachs economist had anticipated job growth for the year to be at least 600,000 jobs weaker than previously estimated, with potential declines reaching up to 1 million. When Biden and Harris talk about creating jobs, they fail to mention all the energy jobs they have destroyed with the Green New Deal. Moreover, the Biden-Harris jab mandates rob people of their careers, forcing tens of thousands of people out of the labor market. Remember, this government intentionally destroyed jobs, careers, and livelihoods all over a blank that didn't work, that caused more health problems, leaving thousands of people debilitated and unable to work. And that's pretty much the point, man. So let me get the next article, right? Because the point is made. These devils are fabricating, numbers, which, in the mind of the people, that's going to give them a sense of security, and that's going to encourage them to vote for these people. But again, they're lying to you, man. They're just telling you what you want to hear, okay, so that you can be filled, so that dopamine can go to your head. And, oh, yeah, everything is going good, man. But come on, bro. Just take a look around. Take a look around at what's going on in society, man. This place is getting more wicked by the day, right? There's more, what scripture say, because iniquity shall abound, the love of many shall wax cold. There's more violent crimes taking place all over the United States, man, or really all over the world, So, no, things aren't getting better, bro. This is another article on naturalnews.com. It says, UK to free violent criminals to make jail space for thought crime offenders. Now, listen to this. It says the British government under Prime Minister Keir Starmer of the Labour Party plans to release violent criminals from prisons, freeing up space for those exercising their freedom of speech and assembly. According to Modernity News, the proposal aims to make room for prisoners sentenced in connection with rioting, which includes people who made inflammatory posts on social media. The independent news outlet also added that those engaging in extreme misogyny online could find themselves behind bars in line with the early release scheme. It's crazy. It says the emergency scheme is designed to tide His Majesty's prison service through, as the number of spare places in male jails hovers between just 300 and 500, the Telegraph stated. It is understood that no single person will release more than 100 prisoners. It's like it is understood that no single prison will release more than 100 prisoners, and sources said the mass release would be staggered. Under the scheme's first tranche, about 2,000 prisoners, all serving sentences of less than 5 years, will be freed on September 10th. Right, and that's coming up. Okay, that's coming up next month. That's only 2 weeks away. You know, just a little shy of 2 weeks away. It says a second tranche of up to 1,700, this time consisting of prisoners jailed for more than 5 years, will be freed on October 2022. This was made possible by a change to the law, which will allow for their release after serving 40% of their sentences instead of the current 50%. So they're getting rid of violent criminals, right? And the really violent criminals that haven't even fully served their sentence, to replace their spot with those who post, what did it say? For those who post really the thought crime, those who are going against the government narrative. And this is something that, you know, Spirit's been on me, you know, throughout these past few years to kind of go into, right? How they want to get rid of those who are going against the grain, right? Who are bringing out, the agenda of these wicked elites and what they plan to do concerning, the draconian measures that they're going to come with, right? They want to get rid of anybody that opposes, a jab, which really we know that we're against it because that shit is nothing but poison, right? But I gotta be careful even speaking on that because it'll strike me down. It says from October 22nd onward, eligible prisoners who served 40% of their sentence will be automatically released. According to the Telegraph, the early release scheme will free up an estimated 5,500 prison spaces over its 18-month duration. While the scheme will reportedly include criminals convicted of violence who have been jailed for less than 4 years, there are certain categories of prisoners that won't be released. These include terrorists, sexual offenders, and those serving longer jail terms for more serious violence. But at that point, they get to determine, right? It says the British Ministry of Justice said any prisoner released on parole would be strictly monitored by the probation service through measures including electronic tagging curfews. If they breach their parole conditions, they could be recalled to prison. Let me go down. It says, in other words, actual violent criminals who haven't even served half of their prison sentences will be out on the streets so that boomers who posted spicy memes on Facebook can be locked up. Yeah, it's crazy, man. It says some of the individuals being convicted for their role in inciting the riots didn't even appear at the riots, but instead made social media posts that contained such things as anti-establishment rhetoric or posted misinformation about the Southport attacker being a Muslim refugee. Right, and they said, I believe, I think it was the CDC or Dr. Fauci, I'm not sure, but maybe the WEF, but they said there's a war going on right now, and the war of misinformation, right? And they say that because at the end of the day, what they deem misinformation is the truth, right? They don't want anybody telling the truth or have anybody think that the government, is lying and, they're using deception to fool the masses to pretty much dance to their own tune. They don't want you to think that, man. They want, what do they say? We don't want a nation of thinkers. We want a nation of workers. They don't want you to think for yourself, man. You see, that's why they also made, statements, which I've done lessons on too, how they wanted to lock up those who read, and dive into non-mainstream news. Why would they say things like that, man? Because the mainstream news was made to deceive and pretty much distract you, man. Okay, from the actual things happening in this world, right? Like I bet you, man, I bet anything that they're not gonna talk about this in the news, man. Okay, but they'll talk about Lil Johnny, receiving a honor roll at some middle school. They always talk about some folly, man, that really, something that don't really have any significance in the news, right? But in other words, that's pretty much the point on this, Yeah, Con, that's pretty much the point. The reason of bringing out this is to show that the famine of the word is near because, misinformation, they're not only dealing with it, which that really, they talked about locking people up recently just concerning the riots that have been taking place over there. People reposting, the riots on their social media platforms, facing fines and then, ultimately having charges sent against them. But see, that's ultimately going to happen in the U.S. too, man. Right? They're going to have it to where, you can't repost anything like as far as riots or any kind of so-called conspiracy theory, or you're now considered, right, a national security threat, right, and you have to be removed. Okay, that's why let me get Let me grab this in the book of Amos, right? Because if once they remove us off the street corners, what's going to happen? That's going to entail the famine of the word, right? That happening in the UK is a sign, an omen of that which is to come here in America. This is Amos 8 and 11. Behold, the days come, saith the Lord, Yahweh, that I will send a famine in the land, not a famine of bread, nor a thirst for water, but of hearing the words of the Lord. And they shall wander from sea to sea, and from the north even to the east. They shall run to and fro to seek the word of Yahweh, and shall not find it. In that day shall the fair virgins and young men faint for thirst. And what are these people going to be fainting for, right? You know, fainting for thirst. What are they going to be thirsting for is the fountains of living water, the true wisdom, knowledge, and understanding of the Holy Scriptures, which now is available in abundance, right, through various social media platforms, but it's not going to always be accessible, right? That's why the Lord said in Isaiah, right? Isaiah chapter 55 and verse 6, it reads, Seek ye the Lord Yahweh, Bahashim Yahweh Shai, while he may be found. Call ye upon him while he is near. Let the wicked forsake his way, and the unrighteous man his thoughts, and let him return unto the Lord Yahweh, Bahashim Yahweh Shai, and he will have mercy upon him, and to our power, for he will abundantly pardon. That's what the message is to you Israelites, man, to turn right from your wicked ways, pray, seek the Lord's face, and humble yourself, and Lord willing, he'll hear you and he'll heal you, man. Okay, because the Lord is turning things up, you know, on a global scale, man. It's not just here in America, man. The Lord's sending plagues. We're already seeing pestilences concerning this whole, you know, Fox Cyrus that's being talked about, right? You know, now we're seeing this whole West Nile, you know, be talked about, that they're warning of is very, you know, very hazardous. Okay, you know, but these are the pestilences that the Lord said were coming in the last days, man. So that's why we're seeing it, because we're living in the end times. Okay, which again, that's why the Lord says, seek him now while you can, right? You know, seek the Lord, man. Get built up in your faith, because that's the only way we're gonna make it through these times to come, bro. It's about to get real. So it's about to get real uncomfortable out here, man. I was watching a brother, you know, talk about how it's gonna get uncomfortable out here. It is, right? The prophets aren't gonna be out here forever. The prophets were never just teaching forever, man. You know, eventually, you know, the Lord would bring to pass the things in which he had the prophets speak. Okay. Which, matter of fact, Isaiah chapter 44, just to prove that point. Isaiah chapter 44 and verse 24 says, Thus saith the Lord Yahweh, thy Redeemer, and he that formed thee from the womb. I am Yahweh that maketh all things, that stretcheth forth the heavens alone, that spreadeth abroad the earth by myself, that frustrateth the tokens of the liars, and maketh diviners mad, that turneth wise men backward, and maketh their knowledge foolish, that confirmeth the word of his servant, and performeth the counsel of his messengers. That's right, man. The Lord confirms the word of his servants, man, right? And performs their counsel. The Lord speaks. The Lord sends his prophets to speak of the things that he's getting ready to do. And then eventually the Lord does it, man. Okay? That's why, you know, hey, you know, you people seeing the prophets all over the world should be afraid, right? Because the prophets are prophesying of destruction, of calamity, of dark times coming. But see, the average person doesn't look at us as, you know, prophets. They look at us as niggas or just uneducated individuals who need to go mind their own business. All right, but hey, but then when shit starts to hit the fan, they're gonna know that a prophet was amongst them, man. Warning of these different prophecies concerning famine, concerning, you know, a collapse here in America, collapse within the society, right? You know, the collapse of the dollar, and then the ultimate establishment, right, of a digital system, and then eventually, you know, the MOTB, the RFID micro CHIP is going to be, it's going to be forced and mandated, man. It's not going to be an option for you to choose to make, okay? And nevertheless, I have this article as well. Which, matter of fact, before I grab it, I do want to grab this in 2nd Ezra too. This is 2nd Ezra chapter 5. I did want to grab this as well. 2nd Ezra chapter 5. Bear with me, Baba Kushab. I try to find it. This is 4, Salakia. 2nd Ezra chapter 5 and verse 9. It says, And salt water shall be found in the sweet, and all friends shall destroy one another. And that's getting ready to happen here soon. Which goes to show you, if people that are considered friends, known each other since middle school or diapers or even high school, are fighting each other, how much more, you know, random individuals, man, that don't know each other, how much more are they going to be destroying each other, man? Right? Why are they going to be doing that? Because here soon there's not going to be any food, man. There's going to be a food shortage, man, and water shortage even, right here in America as well. This is 2nd Ezra 15 in verse 19, it says, a man shall have no pity upon his neighbor, but shall destroy their houses with the sword and spoil their goods because of the lack of bread and for great tribulation. Yeah, reality is going to be like that movie, The Road, right? If you haven't seen that, go watch it, man, right? It's going to be the apocalypse is coming, bro. You see? But see, the average person doesn't believe, or want to believe that because they have goals within America. They want to have the nice house. They want to, which there's nothing wrong with having a house and having nice things, but the average person out here that doesn't dwell with this knowledge, wants to, root themselves within this place. But again, we weren't sent to America to become prosperous. We were sent to America for punishment. That's why we're here now. Okay, which at the end of the day, you had, northern tribes that were here, but, the point being, we're not living in America, and scattered throughout the world, for no reason. That was a curse that befell us, man. So like the scriptures say, as it was your mind to go astray from the Most High, now being returned, seek him 10 times more. Now that the Lord has brought us back into this truth, giving us the knowledge of who we are as well as the knowledge of him, our job is to seek him, man. Once again, to seek the Lord, because when these times come, man, the Lord said that his servants would eat and that his servants would drink, right? And he also said that he that hearkeneth unto me shall dwell safely. So we pray that, and hearkening unto the Lord and following his voice in these times and staying in the spirit as much as possible, that the Lord will, keep us safe, right? When it's complete turmoil out here, man. You see, because that's what's coming. What the Lord say, 1,000 shall fall at that left hand and 10,000 at that right, but it shall not come nigh thee, right? So going back to 2nd Ezra 5 chapter 2nd Ezra 5 and verse 9, it says, and salt water shall be found in the sweet, and all friends shall destroy one another. Then shall wit hide itself, and understanding withdraw itself into its secret chamber, right? And who's going to have that understanding? Who's going to have that wisdom, right? The elect, right? Like it says in there's oil in the dwelling place of the wise in the book of Proverbs, right? Even going into that parable, right, concerning Matthew, the 25th chapter, that Lord Yahushua spoke concerning the 5 wise virgins, right, and the 5 foolish virgins, right? The 5 wise carried out oil in their lamp, man, right? Only the elect are going to truly have that oil, which represents what? The wisdom, knowledge, and understanding of the scriptures, which is going to keep them stable, pursuant to Isaiah 33:6, right? Wisdom and knowledge shall be the stability of thy times, right? We're going to be stable, Lord willing. Lord willing, we're those men. We're going to be stable, and we're going to have a sense of peace because we know what's happening. We're not going to be, in a state of perplexity, right? All confused and, panicking, not knowing what to do, right? Which at that point, all we can do is call upon the Lord and trust that he protect us, man, right? Because that's all we're going to have. It says, and shall be sought of many and yet not found. Then shall unrighteousness and incontinency be multiplied on the earth. One land also shall ask another and say, is righteousness that maketh the man righteous gone through thee? And it shall say, no. That's right, man. Right? One land, meaning one people, is going to ask another people, is a righteousness that maketh a man righteous? Is a righteous man gone through in here, a man with faith? And the answer is going to be no. Right? Scripture say that the prudent shall keep silence in that time, for it's an evil time. The Lord's going to hide his prophets, man. There'll be certain points where the Lord's going to remove us, away from people, man, so that we can, be protected while they catch judgment, right? This ain't no joke, man. Okay, many people are going to be trying to find this knowledge in which we have now. That's why, being that we have it, right? We got to do our best to, continue to get sharpened, right, and get ready, right? Because this is about to come. Now, I want to go into this as well, which is the last article that I do have. Right, and this is on chroniclelive.co.uk, and it reads, Tesco bans cash payments across the UK in major change for shoppers. See, lots going on over there in the UK. We just read an article where they're releasing violent criminals, right? In certain cases, here comes soon, to make space for those who are going against the government narrative, which they consider a thought crime, right? Those reposting, riots, or those, posting conspiracy theories, and they're going to replace the violent criminals with those individuals, man, those who are going against the grain, which again, it shows that that's going to happen here in America. But not only are they, setting that up, and again, if they're already, scheduled to move prisoners out, well, hey, they're getting ready to really start putting people in prisons, man. You see, so this isn't some kind of joke. Again, we're in the last days, bro, and the Lord is speeding up the times. A lot is happening, man. But if you're not paying attention, you'll have it in your mind that we're gonna be here 100, 200 more years, man. Right? Which is the average person's mind. Which that's why Apostle Tahar made a statement years ago, maybe a year or two ago, at an after camp lesson, and he had basically made the statement that a lot of men fall out of this truth because they're not paying attention to prophecy. Right? We have to stay, occupied in prophecy, because as we stay occupied, the Lord allows us to see, this place decaying more and more by the day. So, but if you're not paying attention, then you'll think nothing's happening, man. And no, man, the Lord is moving in the earth. Okay, so again, it says Tesco bans cash payments across the UK in major change for shoppers. It says Tesco has introduced a new payment method in its cafes, which it says will reduce waiting times and improve the shopping experience. But critics have called the move bonkers. Tesco has implemented a ban on cash payments at 40 of its cafes, asserting that this will reduce customer wait times and enhance the shopping experience. However, critics have already said that, Slovakia. It says currently only 40 cafes have embraced the cashless system, but it is speculated that more could follow suit. Cafes in Oldham, Sheerness, Newmarket, and Ashford are among those that have transitioned to cashless operations. This development follows a pilot scheme launched last year between tech company Givex and Tesco to refurbish the sites, as reported by the Daily Telegraph. A Tesco spokesperson stated that new digital boards for food ordering have helped to decrease queue times. Mr. Quinn expressed his concern, stating as the vast majority of cafe goers will be cash users, what they're essentially saying is that they don't want your business. He further added, people will rightly vote with their wallet and take their custom elsewhere. It's an utterly soulless experience. Is that the point? It says Sarah Gayton from the National Federation of the Blind of the UK charity also criticized the move, labeling it as absolutely bonkers and not the right approach. According to Express Reports, she commented, "It's absolutely bonkers and a totally backward step." Which really, these elites, they're working towards this really, and they're conditioning you people, right, to get used to to get used to Apple Pay, to get used to the convenience of having a device or an app, to basically make your life easier in a sense. You don't gotta pull out your cash or your debit card. You just on your phone, you know what I mean? Or even if you have a debit card, you can tap the machine, pay for your whatever, man. Right? We already know that, 159 countries have, are now about to join, the BRICS, payment, plan, which, they're leaving off from the SWIFT, which I need to re-go into the article. But nevertheless, I did a lesson on a few days back, 159 countries, joining the BRICS system, man. Okay, which is going to further, propel the U.S. dollar into decline, right? Which is going to have the U.S. is going to have no choice but to set up a digital system, which is what they want, man. They want a digital system. They want to have more control, more monetarization, if that's the right word, over what you're doing on a day-to-day. Which they even want to know what you think, right? According to Klaus Schwab, man, he said that eventually everybody's going to get C-hipped. And they're going to be able to read your brainwaves. That's what they want. That's their end goal, right? A major part of their NWO is what, right? Is that RFID micro C-hip, which is going to be forced and made mandatory in order for you to buy and to sell, according to Revelation 13 to 16 through 17. So, again, brothers and you few sisters, man, there's a lot going on. Right, stay in these news articles, man, because like I always say, the signs are in the headlines. Really the signs are in the heavens above, different things happen in the world. But again, even within these articles, this alternative news, right, there's a lot of truth coming out, man. There's a lot of things that aren't being talked about in the mainstream, because once again, when you go into the word media, which you go back to the goddess, goes back to one of the goddess of illusion, which is Medea, which I have right here. It says Medea. Medea is a sorceress and princess of Colchis, who often appears as a priestess of Hecate, right? But nevertheless, she's one of the goddesses of illusion. Her name is Medea, which Medea. Even when you consider Tyler Perry playing as Medea, he's a man portraying himself to be a woman. That's an illusion, okay? But nevertheless, you gotta be careful, not to watch the mainstream news so much, man, because it can further rock you into sleep, right? They talk about the Ukrainian war, which I believe Russia just hit one of I believe it was Ukraine's energy plants, which caused power outages over there. So hey, the heat's turning up within that as well, man. But nevertheless, for you brothers, man, and you few sisters, man, continue to watch, continue to pray, and continue to hope the Lord protect you in that day, man, because that day is coming, right? The time in which all hell is going to break loose. Really, a major shift is coming, right? A major shift is coming, man. I mean, Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shah be with all of us in these times, But with that, I do hope and pray this lesson was edifying and informative. As always, before I close off, I'd like to give all praise, honor, and infinite glory unto Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rachach Chodash. Double honors to the elder apostles of Great Millstone, our teachers. Shalom to you brothers pushing and teaching His truth across the four winds of this earth. And as always, till next time, Lord's will, I say shalom, stay strong, and keep the faith. Shalom.